Fifi Knits here, and how is she cutting? Today we're gonna do hospital baby hats. So excited, let's get started. Okay, we're back. We're in a comfortable spot, we're warm, we have our ball of baby yarn, all kinds of different colors and types. And our 4.5mm US 7 knitting needles. These guys are metal and pink and they're pretty. Again, I prefer bamboo, but you know what? Whatever. I got lots of knit needles. We can do this. So I'm going to want you to take your yarn. Take your yarn. You're going to make your slip knot, okay? Now for this pattern, this is the baby hospital hat pattern, okay? This is kind of one I made up on my own. There's lots online if you want it. I'm going to be putting the pattern down in the description below, so you can copy and paste it, okay? So we did our slip knot. We got it on our nice knit needle here. There we go. So with this pattern, as you're going to be knitting along here, with this pattern, we got to cast on 60. Don't yell at me. It's just the way... It's just the way it is, okay? So we're going to cast on 60. It's for a little tiny baby, so you want to make sure that we got enough stitches here, okay? And I'm going to show you a couple other things. So we're just casting on. Don't bother yourself with everything else. Just cast on your 60 knit needles, okay? Or sorry, 60 stitches. My God, what's going on here? I'm going to let you know these needles are really long. And almost ridiculously so. It's really great for a blanket project, but for this tight knitting quarters, I wish you guys can see what I got rigged up here. Oh my God, see, I messed up. It's fine. So we're going to continue doing this until we have 60 stitches on here. I'm going to count with you right afterwards. So I'll be right back as soon as we get these 60 stitches casted on here, okay? Back again. All right, so we got 60 stitches on here. My God, seriously, these knitting needles are huge. I think they're the longest you can get. Anyway, for these little small projects, don't get the longest knitting needle. These are great for doing baby blankets and stuff. This got to be longer than a ruler. Oh, I say these are 40-inch needles, I'd say. It does not say on the edge. But yeah, I got these guys up to Michael's. They're actually really sweet. And see how kinked they are? I'm a tight knitter. Anyway, so if you want to count these guys up, you count. So if you want to count your stitches, it's 1, 2, 3. Or we get up really close here. 1. This is hard to do on the camera. I'm just letting you know. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4, 5, 6, 7, and you keep going all the way up to 60. All right, now part 1 done. You got your materials, you got started, you cast on your 60. Do not freak out if you accidentally drop a stitch. I'll tell you, as easy as that. I'll show you now. So if you accidentally, let's say, oh no, I dropped a stitch, just put another one back on. It's not a big deal. Okay, so just put another one back on. So how I want you to start this. So part 2 of your pattern is, it's not a hard pattern, because I want you guys to start off half easy, but it's going to be a new stitch you haven't had before. So we're going to knit just like we did before, okay? Slide in, crissy-cross. Wrap your needle around, wrap around your string, your yarn. Make a knit, pull it through, and all your stitches are going to go to the right needle. Now, okay? There you go. Do another one, knit. Okay. Now we're going to do a purl. So notice, hold on, let me move all this around here. Ugh. So notice that, see how the string is in the back, all right? Okay. With the purl, we have to bring the string to the front, okay? So the string is now in front. It is no longer in the back. We wrap it around. She's in the front. She's between the two crissy crosses, between the two sticks, okay? So what you're going to do instead of doing this, all right, we're going to harpoon from the front to stitch, okay? We're going to go through that way, through that way. Do it again, through that way, okay? Wrap your string around. Okay, hold on now. Around. Okay. Pull it through. Now, your string is already, if you notice, your string is already in the front. Just do the same thing again. Harpoon that stitch, buddy. You harpoon that stitch. And you bring it around to the front. Okay? And then you're going to do 2 more knits. So you're knitting 2 and purling 2. Knitting 2 and purling 2. Purling 2. And knitting 2. See, the hardest thing that you're going to remember with the knitting and the purling is you're going to, my gosh, these knit needles are way too long for what I'm doing here. All right. You purl, your string's in the front when you purl, and your string's going to go in the back. See how I wrapped it right back round? Okay. And we're going to knit. So you're going to have to remember to bring that string to the front when you're purling and to the back when you're knitting. To the front when you're purling. My God. To the front when you're purling. And to the back when you're knitting. And we're going to keep doing that back and forth. And for God's sakes, don't get knit needles like, oh, I just did. Gentle. God. Anyway, so keep doing this now until you get right to the end of the row. So knit 2, purl 2. I'm going to guarantee you something. You're going to mess up and you're going to drop your stitches and you're going to screw up the order. That's normal. That's how you learn, okay? So this is going to be your learning pattern. This is the pattern I learned off of. Okay, and I'm going to tell you, I made a ton of mistakes. I made a ton of errors. I made a ton of mess ups. Not the words I want to use. But that's okay. That's how we learn. Actually, all the errors I've ever learned from, and I'll never admit this to myself when I'm in a fit of rage, is from all the errors I've made. That's how the best you learns. Okay, that's how you learns. So we're purling 2. I'm hoping all this talking now, I haven't messed up my order. That would have been a situation. You'll know when you get to the end. If you got 1 purl or 1 knit back there, you'll know that you're not even. Because where you got 60 stitches, when you get to that end, it should be 2 purls. It should be. If it's not, we're going to cry a little. And we're going to start over. Because that's how you learn. And eventually, once we get to the end of this, I'm going to show you the difference so that you don't lose your place. This is actually pretty neat how this works on here. I'm going to try to show you the stitches as soon as I'm done. And then you'll be able to see that, oh my God, when you got up and got your cup of tea from the kettle, was I on a knit or a purl? Well, I tell you, this little trick is going to help you a lot. Hold on now. I'm going to show you just because I'm excited. Okay, so look. These are your stitches. Let's see now. These are your stitches. The 2 bumpies, so if you see the bumpies, these 2 bumpies, that is a knit. Sorry, my God, see, I'm not perfect. That's a purl. These 2 here without the bumpies is a knit. These 2, purl. It's harder to see. These 2, knit. These 2 bumpies, purl, okay? Once we get the project a little further on, okay, you'll be able to see a lot easier, and it'll look so satisfying. If you're the type of person that are into patterns, now see, I just made four knits. So I'm going to show you how to undo that, okay? That's me not paying attention. All right, so what you're going to do to undo, if you accidentally did a knit or a purl, first things first, you take that left needle. We wants to transfer from your right needle to your left needle. All right, so what you do is you take your stitch from down here in the front Okay, you hook it. You hook the stitch. And then you slide that stitch off there. You hook your stitch. You slide that stitch out there. And you know what? If you don't do that successfully, that is fine. You'll have plenty of practice to do it again. Because you are going to make mistakes. And that is fine. And if you have the luxury of never making a mistake, then you're going to be a very fast knitter. Catching your mistakes is the biggest part. It's not the biggest part, I suppose, but it's like it's an important part, because if you don't fix your mistakes and you get 40 rows in, and that's a good like hours worth of knitting for a beginner, and you got to go back and fix it. Well, there's no fixing it at that point. You just got to start over. You just pulls all your wool out. You cry a little. You go and get a glass of wine. And you get a glass of wine, and then you pick your needles back up again, and you're better for it. Okay, now we're finally here at the end. And it's 2 purls. See? I did it right. The second time around, huh? Okay, so here we go. And see that tail that I told you about? We're going to get rid of him right now, because that drives me nuts. Tying that into a loop is just not an option this time around. Now, if you forget, you can easily sew this in. You just take your sewing needle and you sew it in. It's not a big deal, okay? I'm a perfectionist, and it drives me absolutely insane having it there. So all you need to do is, because we're doing another row, we got 1 row done. Aren't we proud of this? I'm proud of it. All right. Next row, same thing, knit 2, purl 2. And you'll notice at the beginning of the row, it looks like 2 knits. And these are 2 purls, okay? So we knit 2. Now, you're going to take both of those strings. And you only do this, okay? Listen, you only leave a long enough tail to be able to do this with most projects. If it says leave like a 10-inch tail, 20-inch tail, or whatever, please listen to the pattern. Read your pattern 16 times. Never forget anything. And if you do mess something up, for God's sakes, go back and fix it or start over. And if you don't know something in your pattern, either you took a pattern that was too ambitious or you're learning. And if you're learning, Google it. YouTube it. Look at some of my videos. I might not have everything there, but there's tons of stuff. And I find videos a lot easier to learn from than books, because books are 2D. You don't really get to see what they're trying to convey. All right, so what you're going to do, you're going to take your 2 strings. You're going to grab both of them, and you're going to knit with both of them. It's going to be a little bit thicker, but don't worry, you're not going to notice it. So knit 2, purl 2, and you're going to notice it's going to be a lot easier. Oh my goodness. A lot easier with the stitches sliding around there. So just be careful they don't pop off. Now, we knit 2. Okay, so you notice how that's all knitted in there and no more tail. Now, you're going to have a little bump there in the front, but that's fine. We'll take care of that after. All right, so we're going to knit 2, purl 2. We're on to purl 2 now. Purl 2. So we're going to continue doing this. Don't yell at me. For 7 inches. All right, I'm not going to say do this for X number of rows, because you're only getting started. You're going to have a very hard time counting rows at your first start. And remember at my first video, rows are when you knit one side and then you knit the other side. So I'm doing a row right now. Okay, we're going back and forth. And you can count your rows by counting the bumps or the stitches in here. All right, so you'll notice that there's 2 bumpies. There's 1 set of bumpies. Or maybe I'll use these 2. There's 1 set of bumpies here and 1 set of bumpies there. 2 rows. Okay, so you'll be able to count them a lot easier once this fills out. Actually, because I messed up the first part of my video, let's dish this guy out a little bit. See? It looks really nice. So, oh my goodness, I gotta stop touching this. Okay, see how you can really see the purls and the knits here. See how that, and how stretchy it is and fluffy it is. Oh, that's gonna be such a cute little hat. So we knit it until it's about 7 inches long. Make sure you measures it, because a baby is not gonna want a short hat, and if he's too long, don't even fret about it. Longer in this case is almost better, and I'll explain why. I'm only gonna give you a bit of the pattern at a time, because I do not want you to freak out. And if you want to see the full pattern, of course, I'll have it down in the comments. But, yep, continue knitting until you get about 7 inches. I'm going to finish this guy off. And then I'll be right back as soon as I get him done. And then we'll continue on with finishing up the project. Good luck. Pause and play as much as you need. All right. I'll see you again soon. Okay, everybody. So we're back. You're going to need your scissors. You're going to need one of these sewing needles. You'll notice it's kind of rounded. This is so you don't stab yourself. You can use your normal needle as long as you can fit yarn through the eye of the needle, okay? Put that guy over here. All right, so we got him done. Now, he's not pretty because the wool that I used had a couple of knots and stuff in it, but whatever. I just breezed on through it. I'm sure you guys did too. So first thing you're going to do is you're going to take any kind of measuring tool, whether it's a ruler, whether it's one of these cheap old pieces of tape I got from the dollar store. I want you to measure it from the end of your project to the other end. Now, I got 9 inches here. That's perfectly fine. I made mine a little bit longer, and that's okay. I'm not stressed about it. All right, so you measure it. As long as it's over 7 inches, hunky-dory. Okay, so we're going to cast off like we did before. All right. So again, now when you cast off, we're not going to knit and purl. We're just going to knit and cast off that way, okay? So you knit 2, and then you do that, and we're just casting it off. And we're going to keep doing this. Knit, pull it over, and we're going to knit, pull it over. All right, and once we get to the end, I want you to, here we go, we get to the end, I will be back, I guess. So I'm going to let you guys figure this out and slowly cast this all off. Oh my goodness gracious. There you go. And I'll be right back. Okay, I got a little bit more light here now, guys. Still learning process. All right, so we got her all cast off here now. See, we got a beautiful, see, nothing on that side, nothing on this side. So we still got that, oh my goodness. We still got that little string that's right there, okay? So we need to pull that out a little bit because we need to sew this guy up, all right? So I say, you know, like give yourself probably, my God, enough to sew that up with. Let's say about, let's give yourself 2 feet. Let's just say, okay? That's probably too much, but whatever, we got this. All right, so we're going to cut our string, boop, boop, boop. And we're going to make sure we haul that string out. See, all is well with the world. All right, so first things first, this is the way it's supposed to go. Do not sew your hat up this way because the poor little fella or the poor little missus is not going to have any stretch to their hat. Big difference in this way and this way. See? Everything's knitted for a reason. Okay. So, we're going to take our string. All right. We're going to take that needle that I told you about. I'm going to show you a trick now. If anybody's out here trying to do this, like, God love you. That would drive me nuts. It's a little trick. So, over the years, my grandmother did this. And she was half blind, so I don't think we got much of an excuse. So you're going to slide your needle down that way, and as the needle tapers, it's going to tighten up that wool. See how tight that is? We're going to take the eye of the needle, and you're going to push using your thumb all the way through. And you should have it all the way through, okay? So we're going to sew this guy up. We're going to fold him in half like this. And I want you to sew him up. So what I want you to do is right through the edges, you just try to match up these little loopies, okay? These are called ribs. So I want you, hold on, let's see if we can get a little bit more focus on the go. I want you to try to go through those loops if you can. So all you're doing, oh my God, I got my knitting needle and everything. Make sure your area is clear for God's sake. And we're just going to do a loop stitch. So all a loop stitch is, instead of going in and out, I'm just kind of doing this. Now, there's not really a right or wrong way to this, because it's only a little hospital hat. It'll sometimes mention different stitches for you to use, but you don't want any holes. The little one, we don't want the little one to be cold, okay? So we're going to keep doing this now, and I'll show you guys a different way so there won't be any sewing involved. But again, we're just learning. You got to flap before you fly. So we're doing this.
Few inches later.
So once we get to the end, just stop and wait. Don't get ahead of the class. And you might notice that you got, like this used to happen to me all the time. You might notice when you get to the end, you might kind of look like that. Just pull it together. Really, you should really keep an eye to make sure everything is even. You don't want one end like that long and one end that short. Pay attention to what you're doing. You're putting some effort into this. We're not just slapping something together. Okay, it might not be anything fantastic yet, but again, like, we're just beginning. Give yourself a break. Once you do this, my God, you could do a lot as long as you practices at it. And I expect a lot of you are going to be doing multiples of these, some pink ones and blue ones for little boys and girls at the hospital. I'll be sending along another little batch now soon. Again, I'm not sure what the new rules, if you're allowed to do that right now or not. But you can always save them up. It's not like they're going to go bad. All right, now we're getting to the end of it. We're sewing. You want to make sure you got it. So we're getting to the end of it. So make sure you sews right up. You don't want a weird little ridge. So we got right to the end. So how do you finish this part off? For all you people out there who don't know how to sew, like myself, it's not scary. All you do is you go right back through your stitch. So you're going right back in through all the stitches you just did. Oop. You're going to pull it through. Not too hard, because if you pull too hard, it's going to do this weird... Don't do that. Be gentle. Okay? Be gentle. Okay, all we're doing is making sure that that wool doesn't come out. Okay, and then we're going to come right back up again through the same area, not the same hole. And that should hold your wool, okay? Now we're going to cut off this little tail that we had at the beginning of the game. And we're going to cut this one off. Now, so you got a tube. All right. So with our new tube, number one, we're going to turn the hat inside out. My God, it's like you didn't even sew it together. Isn't it amazing? Okay. So, pick an end. Whatever end, doesn't matter. I'm going to pick this one just for a laugh. Okay. So, what you're actually... I'm going to pick this end because I think this end doesn't look as nice as the other end. Yeah. So, what you're going to do... So, you need to have a bobble at the top of the hat. Well, I suppose you don't need to have a bobble, but it'd be nice to. See that string that you just have off to the side? We're going to take probably another ruler's length. Okay, you don't need a huge amount. We're going to cut her off. Boop, boop. I make sound effects. I can't help it. All right, we're going to thread our needle again. Now this time you're saying, but it's not attached to anything. What are we going to do? Well, we are going to find the edge of this sucker, okay, that's on the inside of the hat. And we're going to do what you just did. We're going to go down. This is anchoring the string, okay? Leave a little tiny bit of a tail there. Oh, you probably can't see it. It's a little tiny bit of a weird little tail there, see? He's there. I'm going to leave him there. And then we're going to go right back up the stitch again, but through a different hole, because what we want to do, if your stitch comes back out, don't pull hard, okay? If your stitch comes back out, with you, that means you went in the same hole and out the same hole. You want to just alter a little bit, kind of, to keep it there. And I always goes right back down again. There. Done. He's not going nowhere. La. All right. And notice you don't really see it. So what you're going to do is determine how big of a tuft you want on the top of the hat, the little bobble on the top of the hat, okay? There's a little ball. It's not really safe to do up a pom-pom for a baby, all right? So this is kind of a way I found to work around with it. Instead of having the big round, weird head hats. That's what I call them. All right, bring your needle back out true. I likes to go down about 1 inch. That's why I wanted you to knit it about 8 or 9 inches on. So I went down about 1 inch. It's not a science. Come back out. And you are going to go in and out along this hat. See what I'm doing? Try to keep to the same level. We're going in and out, in and out. Pull it. I'm going to show you. It's going to be like a magic trick. In and out. In and out. In and out. In and out. There you go. Okay. Don't pull it tight yet, because I want to show you the magic trick. In and out, in and out, in and out. Oh. Put that right back on again now. Okay. And in and out, in and out, in and out. And in and out, in and out, in and out. Till you get to the beginning. All right. Now, watch what happens. Super cute. Okay. So we make it tight. See how the little hat looks like that? Oh, it's so cute. I'll show you the finish now in a second. So what you're going to do to finish it off, right where you see, so right where it's cinching to, like right here where it's cinching to, you're going to put your needle through here and out through the other side. Okay? Pretty much, you're going to keep going through that cinched area to sew in the top of your hat. There's no rhyme or reason to this. So, see how he's out there? Oh, my goodness. He's out. Now I'm just going back in, and I'm going right through to the other side. Okay? And you're going to keep going through your hat like that until you feel like the top of that, and keep going through different areas, okay? You're not going to keep going through the same area, then you'll just be sewn here and here. You want all four, I calls it all four sides, but you want it 360 to make sure that there's no hole in the top of that, okay? So you're going to go through again till you're feeling like that baby's head ain't going to pop through that bobble. We don't want that to pop through that bobble. Okay, and you pull it half tight. You make sure that that hat is secure. I'm a little overkill when I do this. I can't help it. It's, oh my goodness, I'm right close to the camera. Sorry about that. Here we go. Oh goodness. All right, now I feel pretty good about that. So when you're fastening it off, you're gonna go back and forth, and then you're gonna come in through the middle of the hat. All right, right up through the center of that sucker, and you're gonna trim that about here. You don't want any weird strings. Here. Cute little red woolly boo. Get rid of that. He's so cute. Okay. Now, that's our hat. Oh my God. It's a cute little baby hat. And again, you can make this as clever as you want. But see that there's a, you can kind of see it there, the ridge a little bit. It's not horrible, right? But you can kind of tell why I like to knit in the round. I like a smooth, flawless appearance. But for a beginner project, this is fine, okay? See? Oh, now, make it look right cute. Now, that's your little baby hat. And she's done. There's no little excesses. That's good to go to market there now. Right cute.
We knitted a hospital baby hat. Are you impressed? I am. Like, look at how cute that is. And it's so small, but it grows with baby. See? And my God, if your baby's head is that huge, just saying. No, it's it's going to stretch and it's going to grow with the baby. And if you use smaller knitting needles and different color yarn, like I said, I got this guy on the go. And this is another kind of yarn that has the built-in coloring stripes. We're not at switching colors yet, okay? We're not at that yet. But this guy is almost ready. Actually, he is ready for me to sew him up and put him together and everything. But look at how big he is. He's right nice and stretchy. Guys, I'm so proud of you. As 2 projects now. I'm going to start getting into some nicer knitting things now soon. And I'm going to show you how to knit in the round. I'm also going to do another couple of videos with just knit, purl, and a couple of things that I've shown you. Because I realize going through these videos, even myself when I'm looking for stuff, going through these videos can be a little bit contrary. Can be annoying. So, thanks guys. Coffee is getting cold. It's almost gone. But that's Newfie Knits here today. Thank you for watching. And don't forget who knit ya. See you guys.
For more Newfie Knits, subscribe, like, and share. Thanks, guys.